Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Duplex, New York's most historic cabaret. For the consideration of the performers and those around you, we'll ask you to turn off all cell phones and electronic devices at this time. We'd also like to remind you that the taking of flash photographs during the show is prohibited.
My throat is dry, and my fear begins to multiply, and my head begins to pound like 1,000 drums. I try to keep my strength as my body numbs, and I'm standing here alone, and my mind has been broken, my heart has been spinning, the silence was spoken as the end was beginning, and my tears kept collapsing as the world went on streaming. I was screaming without sound, but now I'm cautiously optimistic. Yes, I'm cautiously optimistic, with one foot on the ground. Right where I belong, twice as strong, twice as strong. Now there's safety in knowing that love keeps me sailing, and as I keep going, I will not forget failing. If I lose what I'm feeling, it's okay to be lonely. It's the only way I found to stay cautiously optimistic. I'll be cautiously optimistic, with one foot on the ground. When our world is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens magically. When all the sky clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you right. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. where they can fly. I'm gonna be where my spirit can run free. Gonna find my corner of the sky. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow wide, oh why can't I? Welcome to my show! Wow, so much love. Okay. So, this is the show. Thank you guys for coming. The show has been... the show, I've been working on this thing for so long, so it's so awesome to see it come to fruition. Oh my gosh! All these people I haven't seen in forever are here. Diving right in. Spring of 1996. I was a sophomore in high school. And I was in a production of 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Now, we had just finished a very rousing rendition of Goin' Courtin'. It was Goin' Courtin', do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and Millie had about this whole song to turn us into like these rough hooligans, into like these dapper dans. So, the next song was this big social dance where we were going to go meet our potential bride, so we had about 30 seconds for a quick change. I ran off stage, took off my spirited gummed glue on beard, and then ran back on stage for the social dance. Now, about a minute into the dance, people were laughing in a place we'd never heard them laugh before. Curious. I thought, well, somebody must have fallen, I hope they're okay. So the next section of the dance, about a minute later, we moved out into this section that's around this ramp that goes around the orchestra pit, and we're doing some partner dancing, and we can actually see the people laughing now. And I'm like, okay, now I'm getting annoyed because somebody is stealing focus. About a minute later, we're on stage and doing some serious partner dancing, lifts and all that jazz, and we're about ready to go into this massive across the stage tumbling, toe touches, leaps section. But right before that, we're about to ready to go to the stage, and then all of a sudden I play back in my mind, and I'm thinking, why is everybody laughing still? And it dawns on me that my dresser didn't zip up my zipper. I look down, and all I see is flesh tone colored dance belt shining in all of its glory. So, the next section of choreography had me going, it was supposed to be going across the stage like this. In a very quick dose of inspiration, I changed the choreography to this. The crowd went nuts. Because they weren't almost seeing my nuts anymore. And my grandmother happened to be in the audience that day, and so she thought they were seeing my nuts, and she ran up to the director, and she was, anyway, I realized what I had done, and so from that moment on, she for every opening of any show that I got, she got me a group of balloons, and they would always say, "Fly up, Joshua." My grandmother couldn't be here tonight, but she would hug each and every one of you if she was. So, wow, let me get a sip of water. Music, though, had always been a part of my life, even way back when I was a little tiny kid, going to church with my Mormon family. Jesus wants me for a sunbeam to shine for him each day. In every way try to please him, at home, at school, at play. A sunbeam, Jesus wants me for a sunbeam. A sunbeam, I'll be a sunbeam for him. I looked out the window and what did I see? Popcorn popping on the apricot tree. Spring had brought me such a nice surprise. Blossoms popping right before my eyes. I can take an armful and make a treat. A popcorn ball that smells so sweet. It wasn't really so, but it seemed to me. Popcorn popping on the apricot tree. too. I hope by then I will be ready to teach and preach and work as missionaries do. Ever since I was a child, I tried to be the best. So what happened? My family and friends all said I was blessed. So what happened? It was supposed to be all so exciting to be teaching of Christ across the sea, but I allowed my faith to be shaken. Oh, what's the matter with me? I always longed to help the needy, to do the things I never dared. This was a time for me to step up. So then why was I so scared? I must trust that my Lord is mightier and always has my back. I must be completely devout. I can't have even one shred of doubt. I believe the Lord God created the universe. I believe that He sent His only Son to die for my sins. And I believe that ancient Jews built boats and sailed to America. I am a Mormon. A Mormon just believes. You cannot believe partway. You have to believe in it all. My problem was doubting the Lord's will instead of standing tall. I can't allow myself to have any doubts. It's time to set my words free and to show the world what I am about and share the power inside of me. I believe that God has a plan for all of us. I believe that plan involves me getting my own planet. And I believe that the current president of the church, Thomas Monson, speaks directly to God. I am a Mormon. My gosh, a Mormon just believes. I know that I must go and do the things my God commands. I realize now why He sent me here. If you ask the Lord in faith, He will always answer you. Just believe in Him and have no fear. Oh my God, a whole room full of sinners! I believe that Satan has a hold of you. I believe that the Lord God has sent me here. And I believe that in 1978 God changed His mind about black people. Be a Mormon who just believes. I'll get you a Book of Mormon after the show. And now I can feel the excitement. This is the moment I was born to do. And I feel so incredible to be sharing my faith with you. And the scriptures say that if you ask in faith, you ask God Himself alone. You must ask Him without any doubts and let your spirit grow. I believe that God lives on a planet called Kolob. I believe that Jesus has His own planet as well. And I believe that the Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri. If you believe, the Lord will reveal it. And you'll know it's true. You'll just feel it. You'll be a Mormon, and dang it, a Mormon just believes. Oh, I believe. I believe. Really soon, I realized I had a choice to make. I had to choose between believing in all of that or believing in myself, even when myself, or what I was taught myself should have been doing, was going in the wrong direction. Now, I learned from a very young age that I loved to escape, and one of the places that I loved to escape to was a place called the PX. Now, for those of you that aren't military brats, the PX is like the military's version of a Walmart. And just like Walmart, they have a clothing section, electronics section, magazine department is where I love to live. because I can open up any magazine and escape. For instance, Teen Bop magazine. I can open it up and fantasize about being in a boy band. My favorites were Boys to Men, or Because I'm a Block. Or I'd open up a home architecture magazine and fantasize about all the dream homes that I would buy with all the money that I'd make from the boy band. Yes. Or the muscle magazines. I'd pick those up, and I was a little scrawny twig, and I would imagine myself with muscles, and then one day I looked up and I saw Playgirl magazine. The next day, I returned. And I couldn't keep my eyes off of that Playgirl magazine. So I sneakily grabbed it and put it inside a Better Homes and Garden magazine. Now, the gardening department happened to be right next door to the magazine department. So I took a little stroll at the gardening department looking at lawnmowers and plants. But the real reason I was in there was because I knew the back of the building was exposed by a chain link fence. So I went up to the fence and I slid my magazines into the fence and walked back through the store casually. I think I even grabbed a Snickers bar and bought on the way out, said bye to everybody that I saw every day, and rode my BMX bicycle around the BX, picked up my loot, and was immediately apprehended by a black, unmarked security vehicle. They drove me and my magazines back around the front. We walked back to the front, into the security office, where they called my mom and my dad, and the police. I was mortified. I got to ride the police car to the MP station. Military police, they love their acronyms. So while I was there, I waited for about half an hour, and it was the most painful half hour of my life. But when my mom finally arrived, or when my dad finally arrived, I was expecting him to be the mad one. And he was really, really, really calm, and my mom was livid. I thought she was going to give me the ass whooping of my life. She was huffing and puffing, pacing back and forth. We got in the car, she was cussing all the way home. Mormons don't cuss. This one did. And we got home, and when she calmed down, when she finally did speak to me, she said, "Why didn't you just tell me? I would have bought it for you." Proud of your boy. I'll make you proud of your boy. Believe me, bad as I've been, you're in for a pleasant surprise. I've wasted time. I've wasted me. So say I'm slow for my age, a late bloomer, okay, I agree. That I've been one rotten kid, some pride and some joy. But I'll get over these lousing, messing up, screwing up times. You'll see, Ma, now comes the better part. Someone's gonna make good, cross his stupid heart. Make good and finally make you proud of your boy. Tell me that I've been a louse and a loafer. You won't get a fight here, no man. Say I'm a gold brick, proof of no good, but that couldn't be all that I am. Water flows under the bridge, let it pass and let it go. There's no good reason that you should believe me, not yet. I know God someday and soon I'll make you proud of your boy. Though I can't make myself taller or smarter or handsomer or wise, I'll do my best. What else can I do? Since I wasn't born perfect like Dad or you, I will try hard to make you proud of your boy. Hard as I tried to stay in that straight and narrow path that my family and church was prescribing for me and teaching me to be on, and believe me, my family loved me very much. I
I kept straying further and further away, and I wanted to run away. And luckily for me, there was a natural way built right into my life. College.
Yay!
And while at college, I learned a lot of other ways too.
Before you leave these portals to meet less fortunate mortals, there's just one final message I would bring to you. You all have learned reliance on the sacred teachings of science, so I hope through life you never will decline, in spite of Philistine defiance, to do what all good scientists do. Experiment. Make it your motto, day and night. Experiment, and it will lead you to the light. The apple on the top of the tree is never to hide to achieve. So take an example from Eve. Experiment. Be curious. Though interfering friends may frown, get furious at each attempt to hold you down. If this advice you only employ, the future can offer you infinite joy and merriment. Experiment, and you'll see. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice, she's 10 feet tall. And if you go tried so not to give in. I've said to myself, this affair can never go so well. So why should I try to resist when, darling, I know so well I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know you never can win? Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. I've got you under my skin. I've got you under my skin. I've been waiting all to be here tonight, to stand in this light, shining this bright. I've been waiting all my life to turn a new page out of my cage. Now I'm coming of age on a stage. I know my life is something real. On a stage, there are no words for what I feel. For I can heal the emptiness on a stage. Musical theater saved my life. It did. Mainly because I got to escape into all these characters that I loved and I fell in love with. And lucky for me, they started to teach me a thing or two. I started to learn so much about myself playing these characters. And I never, ever, ever would have imagined that I would have so much in common with a snail that delivered the mail. Or a giant killer. I was always timid. I guess that was because I may have been ashamed of who I am or what I was. I thought, I'm just a snail, a lot of shell, a little goo. But all that has changed is now the following is true. I got something I do. Something I'm proud of, because I do it pretty well. Bang, bang, boom, give me some room. I'm coming out of my shell. Get out the word, find me a witness, blow on a trumpet ring a bell. Holy cow, look at me now. I'm coming out of my shell. There were slugs who doubted me. I guess that made me nervous. I never even dared to dream of life in civil service. They said I wasn't fast enough. They said, hey, you're too gooey. Then I turned around and told them gooey. Not all gooey, I was nothing but goo. Under the surface, then everything began to gel. Holy cow, look at me now. I'm coming out of my, yes, I deliver. I'm coming out of my, I'm going postal. I'm coming out of my shell. There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible giants in the sky. You're way up high, you're on your own in a world like none they've ever known. Where the sky is lead and the earth is stone. Let's do that again. You're way up high, you're on your own in a world like none they've ever known. I got it. My goodness. Let's do it again. When you're way up high and you're on your own in a world like none they've ever known. Where the sky, oh my goodness.
Look below.
Thank you. Look below. I'll look below. When you're way up high and you look below at the world you've left and the things you know, little more than a glance is enough to show you just how small you are. Thank you. Like none you've ever known. The sky has led me to stone. You're free to do whatever pleases you. Exploring things you'd never dare, 'cause you don't care. And suddenly there's a big, tall, terrible giant at the door. Tall, terrible lady giant sweeping the floor. And she gives you food and she gives you rest. And she draws you close to her giant breast. And you know things now that you never knew before. Not till the sky. Only just when you made a friend and all, and you know she's big, but you don't feel small, so you're bigger than her, 'cause along the hall to swallow you for lunch. And your heart is lead, your stomach's stone, and you're really scared being all alone. And it's then that you miss all the things you've known, the world you've left, and really the fun is done. You steal what you can and run, and you scramble down, you look below as the world you know begins to grow. Beneath the house and your mother at the door. The house and the world you never thought to explore. And you think of all of the things you've seen, and you wish that you could live in between. You're back again, only different than before. After the sky, and there are giants in the sky. And there are big, tall, terrible, awesome, scary, wonderful giants in the sky. When I'm on a stage, I know my life is something real. On a stage, there are no words for what I feel. Or I can hear the emptiness on a stage. flaws and all of my flaws are laid out one by one. Look at the wonderful mess that we made. We pick ourselves undone. All of your flaws and all of my flaws, they lie there hand in hand. Part of the mess that we made, we pick ourselves undone. And there's a hole in my soul. I can't fill it, I can't fill it. And there's a hole in my soul. Can you fill it? Can you fill it? You have always worn your flaws upon your sleeve, and I have always buried mine deep beneath the ground. Dig them up, let's finish what we've started. Dig them up, so nothing's left undone. All of your flaws and all of my flaws, when they have been exhumed, you see that we need them to be who we are. Without them we'd be doomed. And there's a hole in my soul. I can't fill it, I can't fill it. There's a hole in my soul. Can you fill it? Can you fill it? I've always worn your flaws upon your sleeve, and I have always buried mine deep beneath the ground. Dig them up, let's finish what we've started. Dig them up, so nothing's left undone. All of your flaws and all of my flaws, they lie there hand in hand. Look at the wonderful mess that we made. We pick ourselves undone. I see crowds, I hear yells, and there's a parade in town. I hear drums, I hear bells, there's a parade in town. I hear drums in the air, I see crowds on the square, I see sparklers sparkling, and marchers marching, tossing hats at the sky. On June 28th, 1969, the Stonewall riots occurred. And right outside these doors, people flooded these streets, yelling, screaming, rioting, desperately fighting for the right to belong. And 1 year later, brave men and women marched. Many of them for the first time, coming out for the first time to show strength and solidarity that change must happen. Now, while I grew up appreciating that, because of the environment that I grew up in, I didn't feel like I was allowed to celebrate myself, who I was, so I didn't go to any pride parades. I didn't find myself going. Until July
July 24th, July 24th, 2011, the New York Marriage Equality Bill passed. And I happened to be watching the news that day. And people flooded these streets, hugging and cheering, because finally they did belong. I belonged. How the world can change. It can change like that. Due to one little word, married. See a palace rise from a two-room flat. Due to one little word, married. And the old despair that was often there suddenly ceases to be. For you wake one day, look around and see somebody wonderful married me. Before the parade passes by, I want to go and taste Saturday's high life. And before the parade passes by, I want to get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life with the best of them, with the rest of them. I can hold my head up high, for I've got to go again, I've got to drive again, I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again, before the parade passes by. Look at the crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my old spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. The whistles blow, the cymbals crash, the sparklers light the sky. Where I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton. Where I'm gonna go again, I'm gonna drive again. I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again, before the parade passes by. Things come full circle, because yesterday, yesterday I had the opportunity to march for the first time in my first ever gay pride parade. Can't say it out loud if I can, because it's rooted so deep in my body. To a wonderful organization called SWISH. It stands it stands for Straight Women in Support of Homos. Right? It's pretty cool. And I got to swish down the street with them all day yesterday, and it was so cool. I got to sing the national anthem with a group of beautiful people. So I want to start my thank yous with thanking them for giving me that opportunity. Eric's here, who gave me that little position. Thank you. And all my other swishettes, I love you. Oh my gosh, I'm already in my thank yous. I would next like to thank, wow. Okay, the next person I want to thank. 3 years ago, I bet this person that if he did a show, I would do a show. Now, he's done like a million shows, and I've almost finished 3.
I'm catching up. He also wrote the first song that you heard tonight, Cautiously Optimistic, my boyfriend Scott Evan Davis. Next, I want to thank Thomas Honig and the Duplex for making it possible for somebody as poor as me to produce my own show. And next, the goddess on lights and sound, Lisa Moss. I love you, Lisa. Oh, please take care of the bar stuff. Please, please, please. Give them lots of money. Next, my director. He's put up with me for 3 years. I've been trying to put this together, and every time I would get full of fear and I'd back out, or I'd get a show and I'd back out, and then finally we did it. Yay, thank you, Jerry Geddes, I love you. My brilliant one-man orchestra who created all the beautiful arrangements tonight, Stephen Ray Watkins. You guys, thank you for coming to my show. You guys did not hurt good. And one more final thank you. My grandmother for having the humor to send me balloons at every performance that say "Fly up, Josh." You know, those 2 words, they changed meaning for me over the years, and tonight, you can decide what they mean for you. Leap before you look, before you think, before you cry. Jump though you don't know how far you will go, or if you'll fly. Why be imprisoned by this place this time? Run toward the mountain and you'll climb your climb. Leap before you love, before you live, before you lose. Move, and when you soar, you'll beg for more, and more you'll choose. Try leaving ordinary things behind. Lose yourself, and who knows what we'll face or find. Leap, you may get wet, you may get lost, you may get high, but leap, and you'll never have to die. Leap before you look, before you ask, before you crawl. Leap, and when you do, a leap that's true will stop your fall. Life has a way of favoring those who bet. Men who take some chances, not the men who bet.
should have worn one of those backpacks with a little. I should have worn that. Or I had that in the parade yesterday. I'm a little. Ooh. So, thank you again for being here. This has meant putting this whole show together has meant the world to me. It's proven that I am capable of more than what I realized. But I learned that from all of you, you know, because I watched so many of my friends do this, and you guys inspire me so much. So thank you all for being here, and I want to leave you with the very first song that I ever auditioned with. On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you, and that the glow of your being outshines every star. You'll feel part of